Dr. John Henry Clark was the one who said that at the Slave Theater here in Brooklyn, New York, we used to have that every Wednesday night, and that is one of the places that make me stop go to church.
In a lot of ways, I'm not going to refer to a Chris Rock joke. Chris Rock says, you have to think of America as the uncle who paid your way to college but molested you. You know, um, and I say this to say, in a lot of ways, the influence of the church is no longer prominent prominent in society as it was. If you go to the church, if you go to those churches today, they are empty.
Yes, I agree with
And
that.
I am saying that the training in personal development in conflict resolution that those priests would have possessed does not necessarily reflect in other religions, in other, like I said, the upstairs the Chinese place church, or whatever. And therefore, we are up to 36 murders in our society. So it's not to completely, maybe 99% disregard that experience, but to take the good from it.
Carl, I
Yeah.
advise you to rethink that point.
Mhm.
Mm.
We lost more than 10 million
Yep.
Exactly.
people,
And we're
Yep.
losing 10 million
right?
more.
Some people
And we're
say it's
losing
110
10
million.
million more
No, no,
because,
Carl.
yeah.
Mm.
You are trying to ascribe all of this to the church, and I'm telling you,
Yep.
it's a dangerous assertion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a better idea for consideration is to what extent our indigenous institutions are getting the support and have the confidence of their value. So that, for
Right.
example, if we take the spiritual Baptist in St. Vincent,
Mhm.
there's a massive cathedral, right?
Mm.
They're still in the doldrums.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's no seminary. Okay, Carly. I don't in Trinidad. If there's seminary, I know in Trinidad they have an
Yeah, they have that.
organization.
They have.
In Barbados, they have an organization. I don't know in St. Vincent if there's an organization. A friend of mine, Dr. John Hunt, he just stepped down as the head of the organization. So my closing remarks would be that the holiday is not just enough. And to
Right.
go on the side now of talking about political policy or government policy, that any future government need to consider how it is we're going to celebrate, because St. Vincent has had a very important part in allowing the Africanization of Christianity in the Caribbean in the form of the Spiritual Baptist Church.
Spiritual Baptist.
And Pastor Free used to be in church on a Sunday. Pastor Free and Grammar is no friends. I was no friends, but his preaching was eloquent. His his descriptions, his references to the scripture were eloquent, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, that would be
Mm. Mm.
my
Um,
my suggestion to you, Carly, for consideration.
Yeah, I just want
Gentlemen.
um,
Yeah,
make
again,
a
Dr.
couple
Fergus,
of
go ahead.
responses. Yeah, Carla, there is no spiritual icon figure that ever emerged from Europe. I don't know if you know any. I don't know any. All other continents can refer to a spiritual icon. Europe, none. Absolutely
Mm.
none. Which suggests that Europe never had any deep sense of spiritual guidance coming from within. It's always from outside, imposed from outside.
Mm.
And Africa, Christianity was African before it
Yep.
became European. It was
Yep.
African.
Yep.
Christianity started the doctrine, the churches, the monastic system, the convent system. even the doctrines that the doctrines of the church, the fundamental core doctrines, the 39 steps, the creed, and so on. Those things were were authored by Africans in North Africa,
Mm.
right? And adopted in the Council of Nicaea in the year 325.
Yep.
The bedrock
Yep.
of the Christian church was African. And Africa, Christianity never left Africa
Mm.
because the Ethiopian church is the oldest Christian church, the Tawahedo church that it is called now, before that, the Coptic church, right? Now, as Clive said, the Europeans brought Christianity not back to Africa, but they brought it to a certain sector of Africa, to the
Mm.
Africa that they were intent on exploiting in order to capture Africa and enslave them, to justify that enslavement of Africans. And finally, in terms of your Ten Commandments, the Ten Commandments, the Ten Commandments are a simplification of an African system that we refer to as the 42 Confessions of Innocence. That is
Mm.
where the Ten Commandments come from. It might be, sacrilegious to some people to say that. But if you look at the history of the emergence of the Ten Commandments and the relationship, where was Moses before he entered Israel? He was in Africa. He grew up in Africa. He was taught the African system, the African mystery system. And therefore, he must have learned of the 42 Confessions of Innocence. And that was embedded in the teachings of the level that they call sons of light, and Moses belonged to that level of education. The sons of light. There is where the Ten Commandments was simplified. Just as people simplify, the concept of God from multiple deities to a few deities to one deity and so on. There is always this attempt to simplify religion, make it more, acceptable to the people. So the Ten Commandments, the bedrock of the Ten Commandments is also African spirituality. It's the African spirituality. So that when Europeans start observing their own pronouncement of Ten Commandments, I'll perhaps believe you a little bit. But the Europeans do not even subscribe wholly to the Ten Commandments. Look at what's going on. Who have committed the greatest amount of genocide in the world? It's white people. No, it's
But
white
in the
people.
mean, but in the meantime,
I
and
would say that
in
life,
the in the
life,
meantime, in the
they
meantime,
could have squashed out most African lives in North America.
but in
It's
the
Mm.
only
meantime,
Carlisle, could you
white
permit me say
in the
supremacists.
something
meantime,
to this?
give me a second. In the
Yeah,
meantime, your last name is Fergus. My last
yes.
name is Douglas. Cleve's last name is Scott. Dr. Leacock's last name speaks for itself. MacArthur last name is Young. And we also have Reverend Ronald Bailey. The point I'm making, the last names don't necessarily give a description as to what we look like.
No, Carl, but it does not. Still, we
It
Uh,
have
tells
to
us
make
where
the
we came from.
argument.
It tells
Our
us
last
that
name
the last
does not
journey of our
determine who
history
we
was
are.
slavery. This is what it tells us.
exactly. Exactly. But you see, what you're describing is something that we're hoping to morph itself in years to come. But in the meantime, the value systems of all that evil, we need to accept the good that it's doing.
No,
Yeah, Ron Bailey, go ahead.
no.
Mm-hmm. Reverend Ron
Go ahead.
Bailey, you're
Go
saying?
ahead, Ron.
Thank you very much, Carlisle. Just give me
Mm-hmm.
a few seconds to engage the doctors, because, gentlemen, I don't have a PhD. I'm essentially a theologian and have done extensive work in church history and Caribbean history of slavery also. Now, the question is, where did Christianity begin? At about what time? Any of the doctors could respond.
Christianity, as it appears today, was constructed at the Council of Nicaea in the year 325 AD. That is a Christianity that morphed into a number of Protestant faiths in the 16th century. But for 1,000 years, that is essentially the Christianity that became Western Christianity. But there were several Christian churches at the time. There were different centers of Christianity. One in Antioch, one in Rome, one in the east, one in what is today Tunisia and Carthage, and one in Alexandria in Egypt. So there were different centers propagating different sorts of doctrines, mainly centered around who is Jesus, what is Jesus, what is Jesus's relationship to God the Father, and so on. So you have Arianism, right? Arius was a figure who propagated a certain kind of doctrine. You had Athanasius propagating a different kind of doctrine. So that Christianity, eventually, the issues, the doctrines were settled by Constantine, Emperor Constantine. And he was that and morphed the Christian doctrines that were debated around the Mediterranean at that time with the Roman sun religion. And that is why a lot of the Christian holidays are Roman sun god holidays. Easter,
All right,
Good
stick a pin there.
Friday,
We
all
got somebody on hold. We got somebody on hold. Good.
Christmas.
Could I respond?
No, all
Could I
the
respond?
One second. Run, hold on, please. Hold on, please. Good afternoon. You're live on Nice Radio.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen. I called for the presentation. To tell you the truth, the presentations made the that you have this. I'm glad.
Make it quick because
The spiritual Baptist, right? In Adrian Fraser's book, he pointed out that the plant class of the churches of determination and trying to think for themselves. And that is an important point. And I think that point was it was for ourselves. But that is something that I think and along with worship, there was the discussion of socio-economical matters. So they would sort of you have the groundwork for some of these social organizations that we would have had that for some reason have been demonized. The Rasta man, or what I refer to black heart man, always project the nation for himself, his woman, and his family. You hear it come out in his song, you hear it come out in his proclamations. And he was demonized. The man was demonized in a society and education system today. The formula still and our education system today still where we are educating, we are simply educating to function. That's what's happening. We're not educating. I challenge you to if they are in a manner, how do we socialize them at home? One of these spoke about going to regular meetings where they will discuss certain topics. If that happens today, it is discouraged. It is discouraged students. We don't want that because where 2 and 3 are gathered to discuss, and it is discouraged by poor who carry practice and leadership and know that if I question status quo, this is not for our people, or is not where our people needs to go back to the question of self-determination and how we are educated. In a sense,
No, but you
we
got
have
from time. Yeah, go ahead.
but we are not in a position to direct them. They are the ones who set the agenda for us together and assert for ourselves. So we are not in a position to say to them, this is what we have removed all of these things. We have removed trust from among ourselves. One of the simple activity we used to have is our susuhan. Remove trust from that, we don't socialize. One of the simple activities and
All right,
ideas
thank you, caller.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Well, sorry to cut you off. Good afternoon. You're live on Nice Radio.
Yes, good afternoon, Carlisle, and let me try to simplify this whole thing here as good as the best of my knowledge. Now, we know African spirituality. Leave Africa and went to Europe. It was branded and came back to Africa as organized religion. That in return laid the groundwork for the enslavement of the black man and white supremacy. Now, when you look at religion, the only thing, the only organization in the Western Hemisphere that have a touch of Africanism in it, that's closest to our heritage, is the converted take it from Jamaica and the slave plantation to the Shango Baptist in Trinidad. Now, this is not a coincidence now that you see politicians that's running church now, You have to remember that. The church was used, which is organized religion in the Western Hemisphere to keep the slave in check. It's a mind game. Keep them in check so that they will be obedient to their masters. When all the images that they place before you is telling about white supremacy. So when you see certain things happening now, and those politicians gone in those churches and taking the people now with their ideology, it's just a form of modernization now of that same religious process, keeping and we have an example in St. Vincent, and I will bring it out to you, in which they can attach
But you can't
themselves
be long
to the
because I got somebody
struggles.
else holding on.
Yeah, that they could attach themselves to the struggles of the masses, which is of African heritage. This is why you can see this Prime Minister in St. Vincent again attach himself with his ideology to the struggles of the teachers, to the servant, and then in return now, who are they slaving for? They're slaving for him. They did it in Jamaica. Bustamante and all of them, Siago, all of them, have the Africans fighting against themselves. But in return, who are the beneficiary? We have to look at that. Religion is nothing more than confusion
Oh boy.
of these slave plantations generation. We have to go back to African spirituality. Everything starts in the heart and the conscience of man. It's in there. That's where spirituality, the foundation of spirituality. We getting confused now and we are majoring in confusion, which is the essence of religion. It's in you, man. If I want good for you, Carlisle, I want it for myself. That is the essence of spirituality. Don't make it go Europe and come back to you to enslave you. Have a good day, my brother.
All right. Any
That's
response?
that. That's
Carla,
it.
you need to give me a
Carlisle,
chance to make
that's
my
the
point.
Oh, Doug, hold on a second. Ron, go ahead.
Yes, gentlemen, I asked one of the doctors there, when did Christianity begin? Christianity started around 30 AD in Jerusalem. And it's from there the followers of Jesus, they fan out into the world, practically the then known world. They all went to them. China, India, Africa. It is in North Africa, it's actually in Egypt, is where the faith literally took a turn for the better. It is where the catechetical school of Alexandria was established, led by Mark, that disciple who wrote the book Mark. He established the catechetical school of Alexandria. And Christianity was homogeneous for at least 300 years. They preached the same thing until Arius, a Libyan bishop from Cyrene, Arius came up with the concept that the Father was greater than the Son, Jesus Christ, which facilitated or which caused Constantine, and of course, Constantine made Christianity legal in Rome. Rome used to persecute the church. for 300 years. When Constantine became emperor in 312, he was converted, and a year later, in 313, at the Edict of Milan, Constantine made Christianity legal in Rome. It was not until about 380 AD, under a different emperor called Theodosius I, he promoted Christianity as the official religion of Rome. But before that, Christianity existed in the Middle East and North Africa as a homogeneous belief system, which came out from the preaching and teaching of Jesus Christ. And in Roman history, they have him recorded as the Jewish sophist. He made such an impact at the time that the Christian faith got to Rome based on the teaching of the Jewish sophists. Now, to say that Christianity started at Nicaea, that is not true. The faith existed for 3 centuries before that. It is because of the schism created by Arius, Constantine, who was then a theoretical Christian, called all the bishops, all the leaders of the churches throughout the empire to settle the question whether Jesus and the Father are the same. Hence, coming out of that is a creed called the Nicene Creed. So don't say Christianity started after it was in existence for 300 years. That is a historical misnomer. The faith
Oh,
been there
oh.
for 300 years. Okay, it's a historical misnomer.
Dr. Fergus,
Yeah.
we lost your audio. We're not hearing you. I'm seeing your lips moving, but I'm not hearing you. Seems we lost that. We lost audio. Dr. Fergus, we lost audio in you.
Okay. My hand
all right,
was on
okay.
that thing. Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Let me just correct, because there's a little misconception of what I said. I said the Christianity that we know exists in Europe began in the Council of Nicaea, and I'm sticking to that. All of the other preconditions that led to that, I acknowledge. But I'm saying the Christianity that we know emerged in Europe began in the Council of Nicaea. That's the point I was making, and I stand with that.
No, but Christianity was subsumed under Roman imperialism, and that started around 380 when it became the official religion of Rome, and that is when all kinds of things start filtering into the faith, and after a while. So therefore, we have to make a distinction between Christianity and Roman Catholicism. That's where
But
the problem lies.
Christianity in Europe was always Roman Catholicism up to 1517. Western Europe only
Roman
knew Roman
Catholicism.
Catholicism.
All right.
It did not exist. It did not exist before 380. Roman Catholicism did not exist before 380.
What this is bringing out is that there are much more questions than answers. You understand?
Of course.
Yeah. There's a lot that is
But
misunderstood.
Christianity was not homogeneous, as he said, because he himself acknowledged that there were, disputes around Jesus, Arius, and so on. They came well before 325, right? The Christianity was not homogeneous.
That is when it was settled. It was settled. But before that.
It was not. The central doctrine, even up to the 19th century, you had issues that were still being settled. Who was Mary? What was Mary to the church? And all those things hadn't been settled for centuries. Right?
But that came out of Roman Catholicism, the convolution of the Christian
Roman
faith by Rome.
Catholicism was the main branch of Christianity up to the emergence of the Protestant Revolution.
No, not Christianity, man. No, there was Christianity before Roman Catholicism.
Well, we can stand divided on that.
That's another program.
Let us stand divided on that. Let us stand divided on that.
Nice radio. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Carla.
Hey, good afternoon, Millie. Turn your radio down, please.
Okay, hold on. Oh, God, just a minute.
Come on.
Oh wow. Time is of the essence. Millie, you turn it down, boy. Millie, you're gonna have to call back when you sort yourself out. Gentlemen. A lot of what is communicated here today is news to me. With the value systems that I've learned was based on what I've learned mostly in my confirmation class. Mostly, the root of it is in my confirmation class at the Anglican Church. My sense of right and wrong, all my life has been, I want to say, Christian value based. And I'm saying, with the absence of the influence of the church in our society, we need an alternate, because history 20 years from now, with the way we're going with the value systems of our youth, we need a replacement.
Carlisle,
Yes, sir.
this is what this is what this is what I think. As this program is the 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 authentication of the spiritual baptism, right? That's the and one of the things I believe is that the spiritual Baptists, I believe, come out of the African religion. Spiritual Baptists come out of maybe part Christianity and part other African religion. Because when you look at if you look at Haiti and they have, I think, one their religion down there is called voodoo, right? And maybe Dr. Forgus could help me with this some. That voodoo religion, is it based on Christianity or based on African spirituality?
But fundamentally it's African, but there are elements of Christianity as well. Wherever two cultures meet, there will always be a synthesis of cultures, acculturation on the one hand, or you can call syncretism where it comes to religion on the other hand. All religions are syncretic, all of them. Christianity is a syncretic religion wherever it manifests itself from however early, in spite of what our cleric is saying, Christianity from foundation was a syncretic religion. You have to go beyond Christianity in order to understand the emergence of Christianity. You can't start in the year 30 AD. You can't start there because you wouldn't understand anything from a clerical theological position, right? But historically, you got to go beyond that. And so it is with all religions, all religions. So in Haiti, to answer your question, the religion of voodoo, which in the home element is among the Ewe Fun people, dominant now in Togo,
Right.
and to some extent in the Republic of Benin. Right, so if you go there, there's an annual voodoo festival and so on that is recognized and acknowledged and embraced by the entire world in a sense. Not everyone, but across the world. People go there for the annual voodoo festival. So Haiti really, the Haitian voodoo is a sort of diaspora of the African Ewe Fon voodoo religion. Voodoo is the name of a deity, voodoo. So the religion called voodoo is the reference to one of the deities, just as Shango in Trinidad once referred to the Orisha religion, Shango was one deity. So it is with respect to voodoo in Haiti. But there are elements there that are Catholic because the dominance of the French Catholic Church would have left some sort of vestiges there that were borrowed by the practitioners of voodoo. So essentially it's African, but with Roman Catholic in particular, Roman Catholic elements in it.
But and my last thing on this, Doc, is that I believe I believe from my little knowledge. I don't have as much knowledge, and I'm not widely read as you scholars. I am not. And from my little belief, I believe all of the all of the traditional religion around the world, every single one of them, have their roots out of Africa and emerge in other countries as a different religion, maybe outside the one, what I think maybe outside of it, maybe the Hindu religion of India, because I am 100% sure that the Chinese religion starts with the root in Africa. So I will say this on the spiritual Baptist in St. Vincent. They have some of they have kept the stuff that that a lot of people, European slave masters, and the European helpers, which becomes the Anglican, Methodist, and Catholic Church, those three main churches, among others, they wanted to stamp out the the spiritual Baptists. It was actually illegal in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and to see that it had emerged from the back the backwaters and the little huts and all of that in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And I think I agree with Dr. Cleve Scott that now we need to take it to another level, because you don't have a home for the spiritual Baptists like you have the main Catholic Church in Kingston. I think the spiritual Baptist should take it to that level now. That's how I see it.
I
Because
agree with you, and that's the value of the public holiday. And there would be a lot of national consciousness now
Mm.
focused on spiritual Baptists with that. And these demands, I'm sure, are going to be made to the government to assist, because the government of St. Vincent, not the current, but the government of St. Vincent was the one instrumental in prohibiting the spiritual Baptists from their natural development. But I want to commend you. Your reference to world religion, it's supported by a lot of scholars. But with
Mm.
respect to Hinduism, you have a lot of the highest ranked deities. Among them are black deities, Vishnu, Kali, a number of these. So,
Mm.
Indus Valley civilization is recognized by many scholars as originally an African civilization.
okay,
And
I
some of the
stand
Mm.
most
corrected.
ancient deities. What happened? The most ancient deities in those ancient civilizations are almost all black. They're representing black. So you're quite
Mm.
correct in that regard.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got Dougie
Gentlemen.
on the line. Good
Oh.
afternoon, Dougie.
Yes, good morning.
Afternoon.
Blessing, good morning.
Afternoon. Oh, it's morning where you are.
We're not hearing Dougie good, Carly. We're not hearing Dougie good. You can get him up
Dougie,
something.
try again.
I
The call dropped out. The call dropped out.
Gentlemen.
Hold a second. Yeah, Dougie,
Oh.
go ahead.
you heard me now?
Hearing you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Scotty, you heard me?
No, still too low, Carly. Can't get him up more?
Can't get it up. Can't get it up more at all. The gain is all the way up. The fade is all the way up. There's no more.
Alvin, you hearing Dougie?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you very well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
I'm hearing Dougie.
distorted. Very
Yeah, but we're not
distorted.
hearing him. We're not hearing him.
We hearing him. Go ahead now.
You hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Turn off the indicator.
I've been, yeah, yeah, sorry about that. I was driving. I just reached back. I'm home. Well, as you know, I'm in Florida. I was listening and a very interesting program. But there are a few things that I want to observe in this discourse. Is one is that in many things in life we try to change history, and I believe it's a disservice if you change history, but you can correct what was written wrong about history. So something we have to unlearn what we were taught that were not truth because own agenda. Agenda is always a watchword. Depends on who's and what we're dealing with. Two things that I observe. One is that yes, the church has gone through tremendous amount of transformation because the agenda of different persons who became stewards of the church um, did things that are not supposed to, that are not that was sinful, that was wrong. And it is on the millennium, if you all remember when you had the new millennium, and I spoke to this often. It was Pope John Paul who said, we cannot cross over the threshold of the new millennium and not ask forgiveness of the sins that the church had committed. And we must always be truthful to that. You know, when I listen to everything that is blamed that the church did wrong, like many other aspects of life where so many persons have done wrong, you never hear that quotation. And it was emphatic, and he was ridiculed when he tried to bring the Muslims, the Christians, the Hindus, all the other persons together for a meeting to resolve some of these historical wrongs that were committed by the church. But it is instructive to note that he specifically in one of his encyclicals said we cannot cross over the threshold of the new millennium unless we ask forgiveness of our sins. That's the church itself. The other observation that about the cathedral for the spiritual is not true. At Belmont, Bishop John has built a home for spiritual Baptists. Bishop John is this guy who walks down Annesville. He was back of the spiritual Baptist in St. Vincent, and up at Belmont there is the home. It is their cathedral, their main cathedral that Bishop John had built. So that should be corrected there for spiritual Baptists. I don't know if you're still hearing me. Is that so?
We're still hearing you.
Yes.
We're
Okay.
still hearing you.
Um, well, the biggest problem that why we have so much turmoil in Africa today, it is that Africa has been raped from day one. From the Europeans went into Africa, Africa has been raped, and you also have to historically blame African leaders, and they are doing it up to today, where they sell out their own people. Today they don't sell them, but they sell them out in the mental slavery capacity and the psychological and financial slavery. That's why we have Niger and all now have a whole different upheaval, and the Republic of Congo. But the African leaders themselves have also delivered this history. I disagree with Dr. Fergus when he said that if Bob Marley was not a to sing the song about mental slavery, you don't have to be a Rasta to have consciousness. And many persons sang many great songs, even in the Sankeys, but they were never recorded. So what happened is that Mali had the opportunity to be the echo chamber of those very same Sankeys of the spiritual Baptists over the years. I grew up with people working for my mother, Dinah and Comsey from Belmont, to deep spiritual Baptist persons. And I used to listen to them come working with us and singing the songs. And the mental slavery was an integral part of those Sankeys that they sang. So to say Mali could sing that song because he was a Rasta, I think that's playing on something that is very misleading. You don't have to be you don't have to be a Rasta to have had a song
If
reflecting.
he was a spiritual Baptist, I would have said if he was not a spiritual Baptist, he would not have sung the song. I think you're misconstruing what I'm saying. The point
Uh,
is, if he was of the traditional European church system, he could not have conceptualized that song. That
well,
is the meaning
well,
of what I was saying. He just happened to be Rastafarian. That's why I mentioned if he was Rastafarian. But I take your point.
Yes. Okay.
All
Thank you.
right, gentlemen,
Very interesting. Very
gentlemen.
interesting. I'm gonna walk out. I'll miss you well, but I will. I don't want to tie up the line because somehow my restream audio not coming in when I try to log in, and then so I had to
Mm,
do it this way. So I'm gonna step out of the vehicle and I will listen. Okay.
all right,
Okay.
Dr. Scott and Dr. Fergus. Before Dougie called, I was looking at a song written in 1969 by Roberta Flack. And the second verse, let me pull it up as we speak. Said, trade winds are blowing around me. While all around me, what do I see? Hatred and jealousy. Brotherhood is dying. Love is the answer. Nobody's buying. Good people turning bad. Some don't, but they're few. No, that's not the one. Children of rich and poor, they are searching for the truth. And if they don't find it, God help tomorrow's youth. How do we spread the truth when that trust is broken down based on the holiest of holy?
That's how
I
we
see. No, I agree. There's a breakdown of values, Kala. You
Mhm.
have a monolithic explanation to the thing, and I think that is where we tend to disagree. There has been a breakdown of the value system that kept us as a moral, let's say, law abiding society. But we need to explore the causes of the breakdown and just not assume that it is one single element that is involved. That could be the subject of another forum such as this. I don't think we are going to get the answer by simply saying that the churches, people have left the churches, and therefore it is perhaps, as you're suggesting, the absence of God in people's lives that account for what we find today in terms of lawlessness, violence, and so on. I think it's too simplistic an explanation for it, but definitely it's a breakdown of values. You see, where the human value was at the center of everything, it seems no longer to be there. So I agree with you in that sense, a breakdown in values. What I don't agree with, that it could be ascribed simply to the emptying of churches. I don't subscribe to that one. Not that that may not be a factor, contributing overall to the breakdown of values, but I don't think that alone can explain at all in any way what we see in today's society. There's so many other influences leading to this. The modern age of technology we're living in, this instantaneous gratification and so on. We need to look at all these things broadly because those probably are what might be responsible for the exodus from the church as well. So it's not just, you can't just focus on the church, as the grand cause of the collapse of moral values in society. I,
Mm.
I think we need to look beyond that. So I think it's a subject matter that is worthy of exploration at forums such as this. And perhaps you can think about mounting such a forum.
Oh, wow, I don't know. Rock of Ages, the making of the Vincentian Church. We have lecturer Dr. Michael Denny, Dr. Adrian Fraser, Dr. Cleve Scott, Dr. Archibald Thomas will be at on Thursday the 17th at the UE Global Campus. I don't know. I think I might have made a few enemies here this morning. Uh,
Mm.
let me
No, man.
apologize from now until tomorrow. But I
Carl,
could
don't
wait,
say
wait,
that,
let me
man.
finish. Let
We
me finish. Let me finish, please. I could only
mm.
worship in spirit and in truth. You understand? I could only worship in spirit and in truth because um, it's based on what I'm seeing that I'm communicating. Like I said, children both which are pro searching for the truth, and if they don't find it, God help tomorrow's youth. We have a lot of explaining to do. We have a lot of explaining to do. I started the program. Somebody who sat in this chair right here is now in prison for murder. Is that close to me? Is that close to my passion thing? And it's not that I haven't been tempted, but the Beatitudes rule. The corner of my eye, my confirmation class, the Ten Commandments on the wall, no matter where it came from, that is where I got it from. And like I said, I can only worship in spirit and truth.
But Carlisle,
Mhm.
you're bringing in a level of personalization which really detracts from getting the message out. That's you and your conviction. I don't think you need to apologize to anybody for the way you feel and the way you have expressed yourself, because we will never have a consensus on these things. If you have another meeting next Saturday and 50 Saturdays after now, there won't be a consensus.
Okay.
What is important is that the message gets out and that people are able to reflect and to think about it again and not be so dogmatic in their approach to things. And that's part
Okay.
of
Right.
the problem.
The name
Yep.
is the
Yep.
name is Carlisle Douglas. The City View
Yeah.
Saturday show. The City View Saturday show has been going for 13 years. Another name I go by is Carlisle. Okay?
Yeah.
I
But
don't know if that
Carl,
explains.
as I agree with Dr. Leacock. You know, we exist, especially on this program, within the marketplace of ideas, and we don't always get to agree. And I'll tell you, as an intellectual, I would hate to live in a world where everybody agrees. All right. But I wanted to go back to something that Dr. Ferguson and I think to an extent, Dr. Scott touched on. Because during the earlier part of your presentation, the looming question in my mind was, why was the colonial authority so hell bent against in their opposition to the Spiritual Baptist Church? And it occurred to me, based on the subsequent discussion, was they saw the Spiritual Baptist Church as the gentleman so eloquently put it, who called in, as a threat to the religious and political status quo. Remember, our colonial masters, slavery was based on a doctrine of biological determinism, that they were superior to us biologically. But also, let us not forget, there's also elements of religious and spiritual determinism. In other words, they saw their version of Christianity as superior to everything else, right? I also do not believe that the African mind has ever been conquered. Yes, there are those who may be buying in right now, especially here in the United States, to the white supremacy doctrine. Those who have the same, maybe even more melanin content than I do, right? But the fact that we saw what happened in Haiti with the rebellion, we saw what happened with the Maroons, and so on and so forth. Here in the United States, the invention of the Negro spiritual was the slave, the black man, the colonized, right? Willfully, willfully becoming a counter revolution, willfully becoming counter normative, or attacking what the colonial master set up as the religious and political norm, and subject to correction. And I hope I get some feedback from the learned gentlemen. This was why they felt so threatened by the spiritual Baptists. As the gentleman said, it's not just about spiritual worship the spiritual Baptists gathered. They also spoke about other issues that were pertinent to their lives, socioeconomics and otherwise. So that's why the colonial authority saw them as a threat. And I would like some feedback from Dr. Scott and Dr. Ferguson.
Okay, let me commend you for that reference back to the Negro spirituals, so-called Negro spirituals of the United States, because
Right.
that element infiltrated into the first Baptist churches in North America as well.
Right.
That same element, and it is the African Baptist Church that spread into the Caribbean in the 1780s,
Mm.
Jamaica, Barbados, and a branch of it um, actually existed in St. Vincent. It is a story that is not known,
Mm.
but there was. It took me years to find it actually, because one of the things that had me, mesmerized virtually was how could the Baptist church, the converted, emerge based on adult baptism, other principles of what might be called the London Baptist tradition,
Mm.
without a Baptist presence. And that had me confounded until I found a group of people, Baptists, about 600 of them,
Mm.
who were taken to St. Vincent in 1806 and by the Bronx. Some of you would know the Bronx of Georgetown area up there, right?
Mm.
So they took them up there on one single estate, but they were not allowed to build a church, a formal
Mm.
church. But up to the 1830s, references were made to them by visiting missionaries, not all of them Baptist missionaries, some were Methodists. In fact, I found the reference in a missionary, Methodist missionary document, that these people were still there,
Mm.
and they said they were in need of pastors and so on. So they were not allowed to establish their churches. But
Mm.
that African spirituality that you spoke about, in terms of the Negro spirituality, which was a counter to the European white supremacist norms,
Mhm. Mhm.
also infiltrated into St. Vincent.
Mm.
So that element was there. We know how the Baptists came to Trinidad with the same American soldiers called Americans today, even today. They came in 1815. So there was a
Mm.
contingent of Baptists in St. Vincent even before Trinidad.
Mm.
So it was the Bahamas, Jamaica, and some elements in Bermuda, but St. Vincent and the Cayman Islands, Trinidad, wherever those Americans settled, you had the emergence of a kind of spiritual Baptist type religion
Mm.
coming in.
Yeah,
Because
Claudius,
Mm.
for clarity for
yeah, so you're
listeners.
quite correct. You're quite correct in that regard.
Yeah,
But
Mm.
for,
the other point you made in terms of the
hold
threat,
one
the
minute,
threat,
please, Claudius. For the
yeah,
clarity of the listeners, Claudius is referring to Grand Sable Estate,
yeah,
where
grandson.
Ah.
Thomas Alexander Brung brought 600 enslaved people from the Bahamas
Mm.
to work on his plantation when he acquired it
Okay.
around the time that he mentioned, around 1800, 1804, somewhere around there.
Mm.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Yeah, but they
Claudius.
were taken from America to Bahamas. I think that
Yes,
point needs
yes,
to be made. So,
yes.
Mm.
and that was the time when the African Baptist Church was in its infancy. So they
Mm.
were taken there. Some went to Canada, from Canada to Nova Scotia. So you had the spread of the
Mm.
African Baptist Church. Essentially, it was Baptist, some
Mm.
Methodists, but mainly Baptist. The Baptist
Mm.
Church, right? So the other point, thanks, Cleve. The other point is with respect to the threat. Why the
Mhm.
threat? Why did the Baptists become a threat to the established churches, the so-called recognized churches, as they call themselves?
Mhm.
Now, you had to understand that, you have to understand that there were other Baptists in Trinidad, because there were none
Mm.
other in St. Vincent.
Mm.
So Trinidad has a broader spectrum of religion. So you had the American religion, which was the Baptists. They were not, they did not come under the prohibition law. You had
Okay.
the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the AME Church, which was
Mhm.
established in the 1780s. They were not considered a threat. You
Mm.
had the Orisha religion, known to be a religion of the Africans. They weren't considered a threat. So
Mm.
racism alone cannot explain the thing. The
Mm.
point is that they converted, and the shouters, as they were known in Trinidad, were the only branch of this African Christianized polity that was expanded exponentially. And that is where the problem is. The Americans were
Ah.
located just in the south. They didn't expand beyond that. Their influence
Mm.
was not beyond, you can say, the original settlements,
Mm.
the company villages. The AME church was based just in Port of Spain. They didn't look to proselytize or expand or anything. The Baptists had this missionary element in it, where they would go on mission and so on, preaching, candlelight preaching, and all these things. So they were all over. And all reports indicated that they had massive gatherings listening to these preachers and so on,
Mm.
much more massive than the recognized churches. This is where the fear came in. They could
Mm.
not constitute themselves into an independent church because they were deprived of license to have, to conduct marriages, even burials, and so on. So one foot had to remain within the Methodist Church mainly, and the Anglican to a lesser degree. One foot also in Trinidad remained within the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, and so on. So you had this duality, which was not true in the Methodists. Most Methodists were Anglicans for several decades, right? But that was forced on them because the governor they did not need recognition from the governor, but they had to get permission to have a license to conduct marriages. So that is what trapped them there. But the fear was, one, the expansion, the great attraction that they had, and they were attracting
Mm.
a lot more people. They had a lot more churches as well than even the recognized churches. The second thing was a financial one. The
Mm.
friendly societies had been introduced into the Caribbean by the European churches, controlled by the European churches until the 1880s. But by the 1890s, most of the independent, they call them independent mutual friendly societies, were under the control of the spiritual Baptists, most of them. And these were financial institutions to a great extent, besides the other benefits that, they offered people. They had a certain kind of discipline, Kalai. That was where our discipline and respect came from. You see those men
Yeah,
friendly
but where is it
societies,
now?
if you
Uh-huh.
research those things,
Mm.
those were communities in their own right. And
Yeah.
then, of course, somebody mentioned the Susu. So when you combine the Susu with the friendly societies, which encourage saving and thrift and so on, you had a disciplined community embedded in a religion that was non-European controlled. And
So if
this
I
is
can
what
come
Mm.
in, here-
scared these guys. They had to
if I can
suppress
come in,
them.
Claudius
From their
again.
point of view, they had to be suppressed. This is what they said. They
Mm.
had to be suppressed.
If I
So
could
Mm.
those
come
are
in
the,
again for clarity
yeah.
for the listeners, in the case of St. Vincent, in the
Mm.
rules, if you are found to be drunk, you could be thrown out of the friendly society. If you are found to be conducting adultery, if you're an adulterer, you could be thrown out of the friendly society. So the rules were very strict to enforce what we call respectability.
Mm.
In the case of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well, with the threat, what Dr. Forbes is saying is a parallel. And it
Roseanne?
would pretty much the same thing between Grenada. Another point is when we add it together, because St. Vincent, Tobago, and Grenada were under the same governor for much of
Mm.
this period that we're talking about here. We're talking about uh,
Tobago
from
had been united to Trinidad already.
no, I'm talking about in the period of the rise of the spiritual
Oh, the
baptism.
rise. Okay, it was at that time. Yeah, the
Yeah.
All right.
So
transition.
Tobago
Speak
was
up in,
removed
speak up in there,
in
gentlemen. We got a caller.
Tobago was removed in 1889. But
Yeah,
between
yeah.
1840 and 1880, you have same governor and you have the spiritual Baptists becoming very dominant in Grenada, Trinidad, and St. Vincent. And because you have a lot of Vincentians and Grenadans moving backward and forward between these three islands. Carly.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Good afternoon. You're live on Night Radio.
Yes, Carlisle.
Uh-huh.
You ready for me?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Um, Number one, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. You know that. But as far I go by the scriptures, And according to what I learned and I believe, and I'm not no right now I'm led by the Holy Spirit, is that when Christ was on earth, okay, remember what Paul did to him, okay? He was looking for get people to to kill all the Christians. At that time, only the Jews were Christians. They were the first Christians, okay? And then Paul was put, he got blind and everything. I'm not going to go through all that. But just read the gospel and we'll see where these guys come from. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first Christians were, first time they were called Christian when all the apostles, were with Jesus. They were called Christians in Athens, I think. And the Jews went to, I think, the right. I'm not quite sure because my memory isn't that good now. And the Christians went to the left. Okay. When Constantine came in, they had a lot of thing going on in Rome before. He was not a Christian. But eventually he became a Christian, became a Catholic, and he opened this and whatnot. Because there was a lot of stuff going on that wasn't right. Okay. So now the Christians are led, and we know that Jesus sent he want the apostles to go out to the whole world and preach to the whole world, which they did, you know. And if you follow the gospel, you'll see what happened to them. Okay. And then the Catholics were more or less the main and the Jews. And then what happened? You have what's his name? Oh, I remembered his name just now. The first one to leave the church, because everybody who leave the church is because they want to work for themselves. They want things coming in. They wasn't caring about taking care of the hungry, the naked, and the poor. They were more thinking of themselves. And there you have all these other religions came came in after and after and after. Okay, and right now, any of I don't have a lot of, I don't keep in touch with a lot of my friends because I can't afford it right now. But those who talk to me on a regular basis, they will tell you that I'm always saying to them, we are not listening to the word of Christ. We're not doing his will. Because you look from the children now, you know where I live, so the children are passing right here, and I can stay in my bedroom, and even, I can't even go on the porch sometimes because the word that come out the mouth is not to how I was brought up, and they know things that I didn't even know probably at 21 years of age. I don't even know, and I am praying for them every day. I'm praying for my country every day. And God is listening to my prayer because we have turned our backs on Christ. And the devil has a lot of power. And he is doing all these things because we never have what we have in now. You had people before in the earlier days, like I would also say that common sense, old people say common sense is good, better than education. And those older people, they brought us up, our grandparents and who all, they brought us up when they didn't have the education, but they knew what to do. And they taught us that way. Now children will pass you, look at you, the parents will pass you with a child and they wouldn't even say good morning. So how is the child going to say good morning? We
Right.
have to blame ourselves and, how we bring up our children.
All right,
I,
Millie,
you know,
I got to cut you.
I know.
Thank
So
you.
I just want to more, but that's my belief, and I believe in what the Bible says.
All right, take it.
Bye.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Carl, I had to leave now.
Uh,
I had to
I was
go
just
on
going to ask
vacation.
you to wrap up anyway. Yeah, but go ahead. Mhm.
Yeah. Just to remind people, the book launch by Dr. Fergus is at the Creator's House in the Botanic Gardens on Friday. What date is Friday, Carly?
Friday
19th.
is the
19th.
Friday the
19th.
19th?
somebody need to change this calendar. Friday is the night. Friday is the 8th.
Friday the
Right?
18th. 18th.
Yeah.
How do you
5
acquire
p.m.
copies?
Alwyn?
Are there
How
copies
do you
available
acquire a
online?
copy?
You can order. You can order. I can send you a link. They can order from the publisher. The publisher is Ian Randall. Just contact the publisher and you can order directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything wrapping up, Dr. Fergus?
But they
Anything?
add some copies. I can make copies of. I have some copies in St. Vincent. So if you personally want a copy before, I can get it to
He's,
you.
he's in the UK. So
Somebody lives in the UK.
yeah, that's there. Who was asking about the book? He's in the UK.
Okay, there is an agent of the publisher. I can't remember his name, but he's an agent for the books. I was up there in June and I met him, and he had a number of books. Um, I can't remember his name though. I can make it. Can I make it available
Yeah,
to
yeah,
your
sure, sure,
station?
sure. Yes,
Right, so
yes,
I
yes.
can
Yeah,
send you
send
his
the link.
contact. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And is there any way you can type the link? Type the link, can share. We can share it. Is there any way you can type the link? There's a thing that says private chat where you can actually type something and send it to me. And should be in the
I'll
bottom.
search for it and see.
All righty. Doug Howard,
Yeah,
please.
and let me thank you, Carly, for inviting us on the program, and by extension, Douglas the Freitas BDS for facilitating us. And those of you who can't make it to the Botanic Gardens, it will be broadcast at some point in Nice Radio, and I'm sure that Carly will keep you up to date. So keep listening to Ctview every Saturday. And thank you, Doug, for giving us your time, and Alwyn and Bigger Bigs too, for giving us a few time. Thank you, Carly.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, all right. Alvin Leacock. Boy, I'm losing my.
Hello, yeah, I'm here.
Yes, yes, yes. You
I,
can
I,
wrap up.
I wouldn't have much to say. My thing is we have to be mindful about you're very hard at that religion plays such a role because people can't lose faith. I think in the old established religion we have lost faith because of the way it has emerged. But even now you have all the new religions coming forward where you see to me and I make no apology where there is a commercialization of religion. And a lot of the people who put themselves forward to be preaching about the word of God are using it to profiteer and to make themselves wealthy and well off on the backs of the poor people who go to work and throw their tithes and say they're worshiping Christ. And I genuinely feel that those are the people because they have an abiding firm faith who will actually go to the door. And those of us who live high and mighty within the religious establishment are the ones who won't see that that um promised land in the end. That's my personal take on that. I have an abiding faith, but I think sometimes the practices of the people who say that we are people of religion and people of Christianity does not to me is incongruent. Is incongruent with what a true Christian, right, or a true religious believer should be.
All right. I think. Doug, you there? No, no, you there? I think we lost Mac. Boy, think.
Hey, Carl, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear
okay,
you now. Yeah.
okay.
Hold on. Hold a second, Doug. Hello. Doug. Uh, barely. Doug, you're gonna have to call back.
Mm. Yeah, let me just extend a heartfelt thank you to Dougie. Call him back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give her.
Dougie, you there? Hello, Dougie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this connection is really bad,
Oh
Carl.
boy, we having some serious
Yeah.
issues this morning. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, let me extend a heartfelt thank you to both Doctors Steve, Cleve Scott, and Dr. Ferguson for
Dr.
giving
Fergus.
us of their focus, sorry,
Mm.
of their valuable time this morning. And I for one would say I have been educated. I'm looking forward to getting access to the book. I don't know if he has plans to present it in an ebook form or even in an audiobook of sometime down the future, because that's how I'll be able to access it. But it is something that I would relish reading, and I think I would encourage all Vincentians to get their hands on this book and read, because we need to understand where we came from in order to get a better handle, a better perspective on where we are going, where we are, where we are going. That is the purpose of history. That is the purpose of studying history. Um, and so I don't have much else to say other than to, as usual, big up my wonderful, loving people of Layu. Layu strong always. Have a great and blessed and safe weekend, everyone.
Mm. All right. Dougie, you there? Dougie.
Yes, I'm here.
All
I'm
right.
here.
Okay, we got
Sorry,
you now. Yeah,
that
go
my
ahead. Uh-huh.
no, my headphone was connecting and it's on another part of the building.
Mm.
That's what happened. So I didn't realize that. Listen, me, I would like to thank Cleve, and I know as I'm happy to have Cleve as and now part of our Ctview.
Mhm.
I really Cleve has been a good friend, but also a very resourceful person, very
Mm.
forthright, frank person, and appreciate that. Thank Dr. Fergus. But I want to say this in my wrapping up, and I'm sorry I couldn't be on all the time, but I listened to the 90% of the program. One thing I want to wrap up in saying that the Bible is the Word of God. Some people take the Bible as a historical book. Some take it as as a spiritual book. And in all of that, regardless to how you take it, it is the prescribed word of God. If people misrepresent the word of God and teach things that are not in the Bible, or twist it and turn it to what it never said, it is to their own detriment. What stewards of the church has done over the years is a problem to for confidence, that when somebody preach that they are preaching, and so persons are very careful not to offend God, so they listen and they sometimes take what preachers say. But the very same Bible said, receive what is good and cast away the bad. That's when people are telling you things. If you read the Bible yourself, don't tell somebody to read it for you. So when somebody read it for you and the revelation start coming to oneself, then you would have an understanding of how you reflect on what was said. Don't discard God's word because people from different denominations have perverted the scriptures. To me, that is an important message that I wanted to leave in the wrap it up today. Thank you very much, Carla.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And
Carlisle, we missed Odd today. What happened to Odd Valentine? Is he still
I
unwell?
I didn't see. I didn't see him popping up at all. I did not see.
Just quickly before you go, don't
Mm.
forget that this is Cancer Awareness Month,
Mm.
and people who have certain things that really should keep on top of that situation in terms of getting help checked out, etc., and so forth. We can talk about that on another Saturday.
Alrighty. All right. Let me take this time out to say, Dr. Fergus, we thank you for
Can I
your
just
presence.
to the caller that wants to know the source for books in London? Well,
Mm.
this guy is in London, I think.
Uh-huh.
His name is Emmanuel Emevor. I texted the address and email and contact number to your number. I don't know if it's your personal number, Carly, or
Okay.
your studio, but 4919140.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's my
Yes,
personal
so
number.
right. So his name is there. I just copied that text from the publisher. So add some information you don't need.
Alrighty.
Right. So his name is there. His email address, his phone contact number as well.
Alrighty. Great. 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 Great.
Yeah.
Great. Like I was saying, let me say thank you. Let me say thank you for your for your presence this morning, and thank you for your patience. And hopefully, it's somewhere, like I said, history is important, but I really, 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 I am really into the future. I am now a grandfather, times four, and not only that, I still consider life to be worth living, and so therefore, history as shaped today, and today as it shapes tomorrow, is of significant importance to me. Let me say, best of luck with your book, and thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. There are more questions and answers here, but that's why somebody is trying to come in at the 11th hour as we speak, and be liberal and say yes. Good afternoon, your life.
Yes, good afternoon. I
Hey,
just want to find out if I have to go to the book launch. I'm local, I'm here in St. Vincent, and I'm interested in the book. And I
okay.
want to find out if I have to go to the launch in order to acquire a copy. Thank you. I'll listen.
All right, great. All right, Dr. Fergus, that's a question for you.
Yeah, copies will be available. I'm planning to leave a consignment with games,
Mhm.
so people should be able to get. Besides, if you contact, I can give you a contact number here. If you want to get advanced copies, uh, Corel Thompson has copies. 7527 8108. So if you call that number 527 8108, Corey Thompson, you
Mhm.
can arrange to get advanced copies,
All right.
right? And Carla,
You
you
can
too, you
you can
might want
you
to
can
read the book.
you can
It's
send you
interesting
can
reading.
send that to me via WhatsApp as well, because
Yes,
chances are I get
yes.
off here, somebody gonna call me and say, Carl, what that book?
Yeah, 527 8108.
I can't write that down.
527.
I can't right. Like I said,
Yeah,
WhatsApp. If you can WhatsApp that information to me, it's gonna be
right.
permanent. It's gonna be permanent and easy to find. All righty.
Yes, okay, fine.
Yes. Well. Like I said, let me thank you immensely for joining us here, and hopefully, with God's help, I see you at the lunch. You
Yes,
know,
I hope to
can't
see
wait
you.
to
I
meet
hope to
you.
see you.
Can't wait to meet you. In the meantime, mighty sparrow, I'm a slave.
Yes, thanks for
We have
having
a
me.
long way to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm a slave from a land so far. I was caught and I was brought here from Africa. I'm a slave from a land so far. I was caught and I was brought here from Africa. Uh-huh. Well, it was licks like fire from the white slave master every day. Got down on my knees, weeks and weeks before we crossed the seas to reach in the West Indies. Then they make me work. Yes, I work. I said I work. Yes, I work. Good Lord, no pay. I toil. I say I toil so hard each day. I'm dying. I'm crying. Oh Lord, I wanna be free. Many times I wanted to run, but the English slave master standing there with the gun. Oh, I know he gonna shoot to kill. So I stay and I pray, but I'm planning still. I study night and day how to break away. I got to make a brilliant escape. But every time I think about the whip and them dogs, my body does start to shake. He made me walk. I said I walk. Oh, oh, Lord, no pay. I toil hard each day. I'm dying. I'm crying, Lord. I wanna be free. In my heart, there was much to say, and I hope that the boss would have listened to me someday. Although he knew my request was small, it was the sting of the whip there to answer me when I called. We had to chant and sing to express our feeling to that wicked and cruel man. That was the only medicine to make him listen. And his so calypso began. He made me work and said I work. Oh, Lord, no pay. I toil, I say I toil hard each day. I'm dying. I'm crying. And then times change in so many ways. Till one day somebody said, free the bloody slave. I was then put out on the street. I had no clothes, I have no food, I have no place to sleep. I had no education, no particular ambition. This I cannot conceal. Forgot my native culture, live like a vulture. From the white man I had to steal because he made me work. I said I work. Oh, Lord, no pay. I toil. I say I toil so hard each day. I'm dying. I'm morning. I by the gate and I waiting because I begging the master, give me a walk with Peter. If I some sinners coming, with them I go be dealing. Because the things that they do me, I want to fix them personally. Peter wait, Peter look Cecil Rhodes by the gate. Peter look the Englishman, we send Cecil Rhodes to Africa land. Peter take Drake, take Raleigh, but leave Victoria for me. Peter just don't care what you say, but Mussolini he can't get away. Why? I'm burning. Blazing. I'm burning. Peter, you don't know the pressure that I undergo from these madman and woman. I feel the full weight of their hand. They made the oppressed law. They never care about the poor. Peter, these people had a day. Well, now it's time for Stalin to play. Peter, wait, I said, Peter, wait. Peter, look, Ian Smith by the gate. Peter, I don't want you to make fuss. Remember, I want Christopher Columbus. Peter, look, the Englishwoman who on South Africa refused to put sanctions. Peter, I just don't care what you do, but Reagan going in the fire too. Why? Blazing. Burning and we burning. Hit me now.
Tomorrow I think I'm going to find myself in church. I haven't been to church in a long time.
Peter, don't grudge me.
I'm going to go and pray for the ones who would have misled us.
And take Foster. That woman Mary. Remember, that's my baby. So much.
When you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, you and I don't think we confirmed together, but I remember you and I going to Anglican church. We were in the Anglican church choir.
Yes.
Yes. Are you gonna go to church in the UK tomorrow and pray for the souls, the ones that misled us?
I normally go to church, but I haven't gone in a long while. But I actually go to a Methodist church here rather than an Anglican church.
Okay, whatever church you go to, we're gonna
Yes.
pray for the souls
Yeah.
of the ones who misled us. Doug,
Carlisle,
yes, sir.
you had me unmute all the time. I send you text and everything to tell you had me on mute. I did all the time,
You're not in the mix.
You from your end.
Oh my gosh, you dropped out. You dropped out. That's why you're on mute.
But I do not all the time. I listen to the program, everything on the stream.
Oh no,
I hear it
no.
everything.
No, you dropped.
It's popping up on my phone that I am muted.
Well, I was only seeing three screens. One the info, one Dr. Leacock, and myself.
Yeah, you screened me out, man.
I didn't screen you out. I had to scroll down to find you because you dropped out. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Mac. I ain't seen Mac either. So I thought you and Mac just went together. Yeah, I thought it got too hot, and all you decided to abandon me.
No, I think Mac is out 100 now. But very good program. And like I said, they was asking me to wrap up, but I was trying to say before that it's a good program and it's some good historical context, but we must not forget that religion religion is good, but it has its positive and its negative side. Religion tends to hold us down and hold us back sometimes. Of teaching. And I believe that the African, the African religion, even before Christianity, is a foundation for all of us to continue to build on. That is one of my main points I wanted to make.
You
Is
see,
that
but wait,
you
you
know?
see, but where that is concerned, Doug,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people don't know.
No, but I
A lot of
disagree.
people don't know, and that is what that was my point exactly as to what as to where society is going. And
I disagree. I disagree. Religious ain't holding us down. People are holding us down. People and the way
Okay,
they
okay.
interpret religion and the way they prosecute religion. I mean, you look at the American thing, the Pat Robinson, you big religious man. He telling you that he carrying a gun. If you believe in Christ and wasn't, why you carrying a gun? And that he wouldn't hesitate to shoot somebody.
that's based on his value system.
Exactly.
One of the things I
This,
wanted to
this, this is
mention.
not religion.
One of the things I wanted to mention is another thing that you and I have in common, Alwyn, wherein that we would have gone up, we would have grown up with the influence of Mr. Oh Lord, what my history teacher name is. Oh my goodness,
Who?
his
F.I. Jack?
F.I. Jack, who
Yeah.
once said in class,
Hmm.
"We were all born murderers and thieves, but it takes a society to mold us into gentlemen."
Hmm.
And like I said, I've been tempted, but it's the molding of the society, especially my confirmation classes, that has kept me out of jail. Plus, what me and Doug have in common that we've been in jail when we was young. So,
We know what jail is like. We,
you know,
we,
We
we
mean in jail as
know what
guests,
jail is
yeah,
like.
not not as
that has kept us on the straight and narrow.
not as patrons, in it.
What
For
you say?
those who
What you
don't
say,
know,
Alwyn?
my grandmother was a matron in a female prison, and Doug's father
Father,
also
you
worked in
was
the
acting for.
prison system
So
as,
we
as
used to
well.
spend
Mm,
a lot of our time in the
mm,
prison. Me,
mm,
Kyle, and my brothers and them. A
mm.
matter of fact, my brother who was on last week, Garnet, we call she Nenny. Garnet Nenny is Carlisle's grandmother,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who my father named me after,
Mm.
who my father named me after Carlisle grandmother.
Yep. Let me not get too personable with that,
No,
boy.
no,
But
no. I'm just saying.
yes,
So
yes,
so
yes.
so
The roots go deep. Yeah.
so we have all this in common.
Mm-hmm.
We have all these things in common.
Mm-hmm.
And but the religion and the religious part of it, I am very happy
Mm-hmm.
that we could speak about these things today, but it must effect change, Alwyn.
Mm-hmm.
What we speak about today, we should see some change for the better.
And that was my
For,
next that
for
was
the
my next
people,
question.
for the people
That was
coming behind us.
and that was actually my next question. How we as senior citizens of our society make a difference. Like I said, the one who used to sit in this chair right after me is now sleeping in a cold cell.
Who's that, by the
Yeah,
way?
Nolly B.
Nolly B.
Yes, Nolwyn
Who's not?
Bennett, who
Who's
used
not?
to he used to host BDS Song Splash.
All right.
Yes,
Mhm.
right after this program. That's
Right
right.
after this program.
He's in jail for murder.
Yes, he's the
Yes,
Calico course. He's the one. He's the one in the
that's
case in
that's the
Calico.
that's the that's the that's the that's the
Mhm.
killing on Sunday
We
night,
had we
Alwyn.
had 6 murders this year, including there's a
This week,
11
this
year
week,
old
this week,
implicated. Oh my goodness, we got a country to build, and
Carlisle,
if we don't, who will?
Carlisle, not this year, this week,
This week, yeah. I mean, this week, yes.
this week.
So that murder with Nolly B, that's something that come recently because how that skipped me.
Um,
That was Sunday night, Alwyn. That was
Oh,
Sunday
it's this week
Sunday
then, so
morning.
something
yes,
fresh.
Afternoon.
this week, yes, it's fresh.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
fresh.
It's fresh. I know his girlfriend. I know his daughter. As a matter of fact,
Well, he's innocent until proven guilty, isn't
he's
he?
innocent until proven guilty. But I'm saying society, from my perspective, society is like closing in on me.
Yeah,
What we know as safe and sanctity has now become sudden destruction.
yeah. So that's the modern calico. What somebody.
And not to mention the 11-year-old that's implicated in the
So what
13-year-old
they need to
murder.
chop up somebody or something like that, right?
No, no, no. I think. Well, it
That was a
seemed like
stabbing.
something in
It's
self-defense that he
alleged.
stabbed somebody. Yes, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the story that
Mm.
is out there. But I'm just saying, as a society, where are we going?
Yep.
Where are we going? And and we can talk about the ills of the society in the past and what it has brought us to today. But
Yeah.
what are we doing about today to secure tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
That
Good
is
question.
my my.
Yeah.
And that, and Carlisle, that
Mhm.
is that is what I hope, that people walk away from this as not as the end of something, but
Mm.
at the beginning of the discussion of what we have to discuss.
All right.
This is the beginning of it, and
Are
I
we
hope.
on air, by the way, or are we just talking
Yeah, we
privately?
are here. We are here.
Oh,
Dougie came back in. Yeah, Dougie. You give the voice of the eldest of all of us. You most wisest and eldest of all of us. You give
I,
your.
what I get from you, Carlisle, it's a lot. And I don't know if it's too loud coming back into the to this phone. You hear me?
I'm hearing you now. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Two things. I know we did when they did violence, but yesterday was Mr. Allen's Eustace' birthday,
I thought it was today.
and
I thought it was today. I
no,
actually sent
no,
out
no.
sent out
Today
greetings
his
today.
is his anniversary.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
just
okay,
wanted to
okay.
register that. Yeah. So yesterday
Mm.
and today. So I
Yeah.
know it went out yesterday, but I didn't know if you had done it this morning. This as a gentleman, I
Mm.
have utmost respect for. As a
Mhm.
gentleman I love, I don't get a chance to see him because most of the time when I try to go, he's either sleeping or something. Yeah.
Also,
But
also celebrating today is a past customer of mine and yours, Dougie. Mr. Martin Ballas is celebrating today.
yeah, I know he's celebrating. That we sent that out this morning.
Yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
Yeah, but Mr. Eustace didn't get. I didn't think Mr. Eustace got his kudos the way I would have liked to see it. If I was there, it would have been different. But
Mhm.
I'm not there, so I don't have control over
And Miss
all of that.
Doris
So I just
McIntosh, Doris McIntosh celebrated
she
yesterday.
was yesterday. She was yesterday. Yeah, she was
Yes,
here.
and tomorrow Lennox Bowman celebrates tomorrow.
Well, I thought he told me he didn't have birthdays anymore. He doesn't want to get older.
I
Yeah.
forget Lennox is October. Yeah.
But I want to go
And
back
my
to the issue
nephew,
of the crime. You see, I just sent you all something there about the somebody gets stabbed up in Stubbs
Oh boy!
again.
Yeah.
Oh
But the
boy!
person, I don't know if the person that is by the multiple stabs. I
Mm.
don't know what is becoming our country.
Oh wow!
It's so terrible. You know,
But
Yes.
but
it takes somehow we dismantle the law. And the government has dismantled the law in many ways. And then has established the law as an agent for government rather than an agent for people. And they have to take that responsibility. Because you can't be at the top of the ladder and doing what you feel like and you're above the law and everybody else must comply with the law. It just doesn't work like that.
well, Alvin, I've always said, if the like the old adage, if the head of the fish is rotten, the rest is rotten.
Mhm.
You cannot have people who believe that they could do what they feel like, and then you manage everybody else down the bottom, and you riding high and dry like if you are innocent. Put a pig in a three-piece suit, it still remain a pig.
is
Mm.
a
I don't
pig.
care
Mm.
how well you speak when you go to conferences and you speak above as if you are the most affluent person as a student, but deep
Yeah.
down inside, morally, you are a piece of junk.
All
You,
right.
you, you you look at the
Eh,
shooting of Mr. John. You want to tell me that's not political interference where you come out as a
Oh
Ex-
judge
Lord!
and
Oh
so forth?
Lord!
You
Oh
know, I
Lord! Oh
mean, so many examples what the,
No, but you're
the
speaking
government
about
is,
crime, Carlisle. If
you
you're
know.
speaking about crime
Yeah.
and what
uh,
crime
uh,
has become in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this thing has gotten out of hand. It's
It is
not
out of
getting,
hand. Yeah, it is out of
it
hand.
is out of hand.
It is
it's a
out.
pastime. You
And
welcome
but
somebody who is a convicted criminal to your country, treat them as a celebrity, wine and dine them, and so forth. And you say, well, that's fine. I can do that. What does your ordinary common man do?
Yeah, boy.
You know.
But you see,
Right.
from where I sit, I'm looking slightly up, and this is 143, and I'm thinking that you guys ain't gonna want to sing along with me, but I can sing it by
No, I am
myself.
not singing along. I can't sing.
We are out to build a new St.
well,
Vincent.
I don't know
We
how you're
are
gonna build it,
out to build
Carlisle.
a new St.
Carlisle,
Vincent. We are
Carlisle.
out to build a new St.
You,
Vincent. The future's in our hands. Yes,
I
Dougie.
don't care. I
Hmm?
don't care how you exercise your vocal cords. They need honey and salt.
Well, I hope my bad singing sends the message even more effectively. You know.
Yeah,
I'm
but I,
saying to
Car-
you, if we have
Carlisle,
to build a new St. Vincent,
Mm,
we have to ensure that the law is for all,
mhm.
not for
well,
some.
well, 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 Doggy, that have to be part of the whole equation. And I agree with Carlisle that we have to build a new St. Vincent, but I don't know. I don't believe we have to build a new St. Vincent. I believe we have to rebuild the St. Vincent that we had, that was good and just for and just for all the people, where everybody basically have the same equal rights and justice for all. Because
Now you're
justice was
talking,
redefined
dog.
in
Now you're talking.
19.
There's no new
In
Sylvan to
Ghana,
build.
we have to
We
rebuild,
have to rebuild
and this is
what
why
we
the
have.
process.
Mhm.
You know, we
This is
had
why
good,
the
solid
process has to
foundations.
start
You know, right?
right.
When you come and you
I
dismantle
have to take a
the civil
call, so I
service.
gotta go.
Yeah, I
All
gotta
right,
kick all you off anyway because time is running
Uh,
out. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
know
yeah,
time is running on your card, but
Mhm.
we have to rebuild St. Vincent for our own people, Carlisle, because
Exactly.
what we have is not going to work right now, and
Mm.
that is why so much of this crime. And we have to. One of my things, Carlisle, I guess we'll do a program sooner or later on it. Is that have to we have to put people to work and get these idle hands back in the
Mhm.
work field, because that is why most of these crimes are being committed. They are being committed because you have too much idle hands around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We got over 50% unemployment and underemployment. It's hard for you to work, Carlisle, and you can't yourself feed yourself with what you make and pay your rent and take care of your family. You have to depend on somebody else to give you something along the line. A lot of that is happening in St. Vincent, so we have to come past that. We have to go past that, and we have to get rid of this government in order to do that. We ain't doing it for getting rid of the government sake. We're doing it for the future. Me and you got most of the sunrise is behind our back. We're looking at our sunset under the ground coming. We have to move on and get rid of
and
this government. We have
and
to
if
do it.
and if we think it is bad, if we're going to continue with this, the hook ain't going to come when the government change. We already have the hook. We already have the hook in the gill. So those of you who feel, well, six in a row going to mean that the hook ain't there
Oh,
and
boy.
your life going to be better. Sorry.
146.
Sorry for y'all.
Carlisle,
Later.
you have a blessed day, and talk and we'll chat. Have a good day,
All
everybody.
right.
Yeah. Don't forget Cancer Awareness Month.
All righty then.
Growing up in the Caribbean, I was taught to honor Great Britain. But when I check out me story and I check out me ancestry,
Ah, boy, this phone ain't
Yes,
stopping
all
me.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I want people to realize that we have to demonstrate and this government because, let me tell you,
Make it quick.
I
I run
want
out of
people
time.
who start to wear white from now
Mm.
to the end of the month.
All right. Sounds like a good
For
idea.
corruption, that's
Aye.
one.
All right.
White, everybody come out, wear white for corruption.
Mm.
Wear white for better salary.
Mm.
Wear white for every problem we have with this government.
All righty.
And then we hit the street.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I want to hit the street. People from Leeward hit the street, come. People from country come down. And we want to hit the street. This government has to leave this country. This.
All right, cool. Thank
government.
you.
How they try to brainwash me. Great Britain is my mother country. But when I remember the triangle, how they bought.
When all is said and done, Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale remains the one to be reckoned with. It's the place for the best in mattresses in all sizes, upholstery foam for your cushions and seats in all sizes, all types of pillows, toilet tissue, a long range of soft drinks including Futa, Buster, Orchard, canned and bottled Coca-Cola and Sprite, and Trini Fresh Orange Juice, plus the best. The very best saltfish on the market, all priced to meet your pocket. It's located opposite Greenfinger at Upper Middle Street in Kingstown and opens Mondays to Saturdays, 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. It's the place where quality matters and the price on your side. Jennifer Shiverton's Wholesale. Call 456-2814. That's 456-2814.
We would like to say that Captain Bligh XO aged rum is the best rum in the world. And now we can. Voted the world's best rum at the World Rum Awards 2014, Captain Bligh XO aged rum. World class in a glass.
Now, let's be real. We're not all police officers, but we all want to safeguard our finances. And that's why the Police Cooperative Credit Union is open to everybody. That's right. We cater for anybody. At a brand new location, too. Step up to the Police Cooperative Credit Union headquarters on Bay Street between Diamond Girl and Lanes number 2. And we provide a range of top-class financial services, including fixed deposits, quick cash, savings, and loans, and a survivor's benefit grant of $5,000. We're open 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, and up to 11:30 on Saturday. Check us out on Facebook or call Police Cooperative Credit Union at 485-6840. And remember, even if you're not a police officer, we're cool with that.
Welcome to Subway, where you can always have it your way. My name is Stacy. What can I make for you?
Hey, Stacy. I'll have a chicken teriyaki salad. All veggies, please. And for my daughter, Naomi, a pizza. Naomi, what would you like to have on your pizza?
Pepperoni bacon.
They've got tomatoes as well.
Pepperoni bacon.
What about some fresh onions, corn, pineapple?
Pepperoni bacon.
Naomi, you can also have olives, jalapeno, extra meat.
Nope. Pepperoni bacon.
Stacy, can I have one chicken teriyaki salad, all veggies, please, and a pizza with pepperoni and bacon?
You can have it your way.
Come into our uptown or downtown location today or order on your favorite delivery app. Subway. Have it your way.
I passed by a brethren the other day. If you see he plays rat and cockroach racing, mosquito fighting one another for come knee in your ears, and the amount of woodlights I see, I had to wonder if them been in the wood with no attack and Billy Ark. I said, bye, call Flick.
For the eradication of pests, Flick is your answer. Before and after construction of your domestic and commercial buildings, Flick uses environmentally safe chemicals and keep washrooms fresh with the Aroma Odor Control and the FemCare Sanitary Disposal Systems. Call Flick Pest Control today at 457-1857 or click www.flickpestcontrol.com.
Present time is in Vincent Grand. It's 9 minutes on to 2 o'clock. Time check is brought to you with the kind compliments of Jennifer Shiverton Wholesale. Jennifer Shiverton Wholesale, 3 horses, malt, solo, pear jacks, potatoes and onions. 2-liter Coke, 1-liter Coke, and more. Jennifer Shiverton, we deliver Tuesdays and Thursdays on the windward side. Wednesdays and Saturdays on the leeward side. You have a shop, give Jennifer Shepperton a call. 456-2814 is the number to call. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here on City View Saturday Show. Tell them Carlisle sent you. Time check also brought to you with the kind compliments of Games Pharmacy. Games Pharmacy, opening hours 7 a.m. until midnight, 7 days a week, and sometimes later. 529-3482 is the number to call. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here on City View Saturday Show. Tell them Carlisle sent you. Smart Solutions. Smart Solutions are located in the Reliance Building, specializing in electronic repairs. 527-9073, and Smart Solutions also have a few used computers. And yes, and you talk about your computers and your computer needs and your new computer needs. Express Data Systems. Express Data Systems open hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Express Data Systems recently got the HP DeskJet Advantage 2875. It's only $395. Wireless printing from your phone, your tablet, or your computer. Check it out on the internet. HP Advantage 2875. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here on City View Saturday Show. Tell them, I said, check the information on the internet. Don't you get it right? Time check also brought to you with a kind compliments of Flick Pest Control. Remember, one flick and they're gone. 457-1857 is the number to call. Time Center General Store. 455-6735. Jamar General for your PVC pipes, your building electrical needs, and for the UPVC windows built, tried, and tested for our tropical climate. 457-2725 is the number to call. Also brought to you with the kind compliments of Nice International Logistics, shipping, packaging, and moving. 3 locations to serve you. New York City, 347-500-9142. Boston, 617-594-2283. Or right here in HVG, 784-455-5600. Tell them, of course, you heard about it right here in the City View Saturday Show. Tell them Carlisle says thank you. This week, we'll be commencing what we call Around the Town Deals. Around the Town Deals, where we visit business places, going live on Facebook, showing your products and services. Don't forget, this is Independence Month, and before you blink, Christmas is here. Give me a call, 491-9140. You want to be a part of that promotion? That's a promotion we're doing with Nice Radio, Around the Town Deals, where we call into Nice Radio saying where we are, and then we go live. We go live on Facebook, showing the world your products and services of your business. My name is Carlisle Douglas. It's been my pleasure being at your leisure. Now you hear me, and now
I met Stephanie in Tobago. I tried to hit, she a one and go. But from the time we lay up in the bed, Stephanie moan and she groan and she start to beg. No ease up, make it boy don't stop at all. No ease up, she say ah ya 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 ya. No ease up, I like the way you do. No ease up, Mr. Cyrus please, I'm begging you. From her toes up to her lips, not a single part did I miss. Defenseless and weak, she lay on the bed like she get a heart attack, but she still a beg. No ease up, beg it boy don't stop at all. No ease up, she say ah ya 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 ya. No ease up, I like the way you do. No ease up, Mr. Cyrus please, I voice, but she still a shout. Don't ease up. Make it boy to stop her. Don't ease up. She say, ay, 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 ay. Don't ease up. I like the way you do. Don't ease up. All stand Cyrus, please. I'm begging you. Ooh, ooh. Don't ease up. Don't ease up. Don't ease up. Everything I know, and I just can't get away. Don't ease up, 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 don't ease up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up. Hitch ease up, Sparrow ease up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up. Mellow ease up, Shallow ease up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up. Shorty's up, Shorty's up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up. Duke's up, Fluke's up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up. Arrow is up, Swallow is up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up. Short is up, Winston so is up. Don't ease up, don't ease up, don't ease up.
Madness, 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 oh. Jenna, 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 mad. Jenna, 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 Jenna. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. Say none of them can hold I down. They try fight I down. They want to take my song. Oh boy. When them ready for me, tell them come. Now you can have back down. I will defend my ground. Oh boy. If them say mash up the place, now we don't start. If them say rip down the gate, now we don't start. If them say get in a band, no, we don't start. And every woman to a man, no, we don't start. Boy, I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I go mash it up and thinking done. Because it's me who have the place that done. I am the governor, I run this town. What I say must done. No second talk must run. No, cause if them say mash up the place, no, we don't start. If them say rip down the gate, no, we don't start. If them say get in a band, no, we don't start. And every woman to a man, no, we don't start. Boy, I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. It's madness anyway I done. I energetic like the blazing sun. The whole dance I fi get shell down. Anytime I run, the whole dance must done. Boy, cause if them say mash up the place, no we don't start. If them say rip down the gate, no we don't start. If them say get in a band, no we don't start. And every woman to a man, no we don't start. Boy, I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want. Do what you want. Say none of them can hold I down. They try fight I down. They want to take my song. Boy, when them ready for me, tell them come. Now you can have back down. I will defend my ground. Boy, cause if them say mash up the place, no we don't start. If them say rip down the gate, no we don't start. If them say get in a band, and every woman to a man. Do what you want. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what. Oh yeah. Madness, 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 madness. Oh yeah. Jenna, 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 mad. Jenna, 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 Jenna. I got the place governed. I got the place governed. Do what you want.
Today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tomorrow, the Caribbean. Nice Radio. 90.3, 101.3, 96.7 FM.
Feel the vibes on BDS Sunsplash Reggae.
For one of them sweet lights.
I'm a big deal. Pop.
Hold tight when you talk.
Remember the time. Soca.
Don't eat and lie down. Don't eat and lie down. Jump up for soca, we love it.
And so much more. Right here on Nice Radio, 90.3, 96.7, 101.3 on your FM dial. BDS Sunsplash every Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m.
I know Jerry and dog. Even by the time when we are hot up the rice and couldn't find a meat kind, we just have a fling piece of butter in it. Well, I know. Thank your father for shine little light, cause when me I come from no time it no nice. Although me no rich and have a vehicle I drive, me give thanks for me reaching a life. Cause me used to hungry, me never used to have money. I used to dumpling and butter, man used to suffer so all who a fight me feel love me. Cause me used to hungry, never used to have money. I used to dumpling and butter. Me I come from the gutter, so all who a fight try love me. Hold on. Remember one time when life used to stagnant and man I tried it in my one shoes, my one pants now. Me I work towards the Benz and the mansion. Only God alone know which part me I tried from you. Dirty heart I chat a bag of team. Them no love for so when they get to youths, them have a dream. When nothing I go on for them. Never want to see you, but any road me chat, you know I got a lead. Cause me used to hungry, never used to have money. I used to dumpling and butter. Hell, me used to suffer so all I who a fight. Love me, me used to hungry. Oh, me never used to have money. Watch ya. Used to dumpling and butter. Me a chat from the gutter, so all I who a fight try love me. Yeah, them want me work and take it give them. But mind me for me thing just like I feed them. Every time I make a grand them, come and stretch them and when me they hungry, me never see them. Me a come from heartache, pain and hungry. So me say bad mind, pagan love me. Cause you see the way God love me. Me not bear no more hungry. Me used to hungry, never used to have money. Oh, I used to dumpling and butter. Version used to suffer so all who are fighting to love it. Me used to hungry, money. I used to dumpling and